All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. All my life, been grinding all my life.
Darren and Sterling here, ESPN, Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com. I am live in studio. Darren is live out there, SoFi Stadium. A little bit of delay there, but we're good now. Some technical difficulties. Who would have thought out there in California? Darren, how you doing?
Doing good. It was stuck in the Uber. We were actually set up ready to go in time, but just trying to get everything, get the final pieces together. I was initially going to do it from inside. Well, I'm inside the stadium. I'm in the press box, but I was going to do it down in the background to where folks could see the field and stuff in the background. We turned the camera around so people can see the inside of the stadium. But but they still, they're doing some of their pregame stuff with the loud blaring music and stuff like that. So didn't want to have what we had happen yesterday, Sterling. So just figured I'd be in the press box for the show, and then when I do my pregame stuff a little bit later on, we'll be ready to go.
So, what are your first initial impressions of SoFi?
It's a big ass stadium, and it's a lot of walking. So if you don't get here early. To try to, for parking and stuff, and I'll be back obviously in February for the Super Bowl. So I'll be here probably when it first opens up because one, I hate traffic. Being stuck in an Uber because the guy didn't know where to go and having to walk all the way over to where you come in at was not fun. And as you can see, Sterling, if you're watching online, and we thank everyone for tuning in online at 1510.com, as well as Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I had to walk in my suit, so people who are watching online get a chance to see what the game day outfit's looking like right now. But it's a fabulous. It looks like it's got about 4, 5, 6 sections, but it is huge. And huge is such an understatement because it's so vast. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, you got the NFL Network, which is housed on the complex. And again, for those who are watching online, again, I'll just give you just a peek. This is a press box, and then of course looking at the stadium. But Sterling, it is gorgeous. I know you can see it yourself, but it is. It's beautiful. And tonight's game is going to have a big time feel to it. It's going to have it's going to have a Super Bowl atmosphere coming in. You got Fox, who's showing the game tonight. You got the NFL Network here. You got ESPN here. So everybody's here. You got some young quarterbacks. You got the former MVP, Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes going up against Justin Herbert. This is the final Thursday night game of the season as well. So because of that, Fox, and because it is here in LA where Fox is also housed, they're going all out with the production and everything tonight.
So I know we're getting some updates right here as far as injury updates. People want to hear what's going on. I assume they're all talking about Andrew Wiley. Andrew Wiley's questionable. Lucas Niang was a full participant this week. Lucas Niang, I would assume, was going to take over and start at right tackle. As far as Chris Jones goes, it's still up in the air. The reports were he did not travel with the team. Doesn't mean he wasn't able to take a private jet there. Not saying he did, not saying he didn't, just saying he did not fly with the team. Chargers offensive tackle Rashawn Slater, Josh Gordon tested Monday, so they are unlikely to play. Rashawn Slater, I believe, is now fully listed as out. Austin Eckler is listed as questionable with an ankle injury for the Chargers. Willie Gay Jr., he's out for this game, and L'Jarius Sneed is out for this game as well.
Yeah, there's a lot. And as you mentioned, you're talking about the COVID stuff. The NFL just sent out protocol updates. I can go through it in a little bit if you want me to. I can go through it now. But, yeah, not sure what the final word is. I know the Chiefs PR, they are here behind me. I guess I could ask, but I'll check with them during the commercial break and see if they got any news for me or not. So, but, yeah, it's obviously the Chiefs are without particular players, at least on the defensive side of football. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm not sure it's going to be that big of a loss not having Josh Gordon. Of course, he did score a touchdown yesterday, but because, he hasn't really been a factor with the offense this season, I'm not seeing, to me, Sterling, there's no excuse for the Chiefs not doing well offensively because of Josh Gordon's absence. Now, on the defense side of football, okay, you might have me a little bit, but in L'Jarius Sneed's absence, we saw what Mike Hughes was able to do in place of him on Sunday. So I'm comfortable there. Willie Gay, it just means in Willie Gay's spot as well as Chris Jones. If he's not able to play, players are just going to step up. And it's too big of a game tonight. It's too big of a game tonight for any excuses. And to be honest, the Chiefs players, I know the organization, they're not going to use any excuse. They're going all out to win tonight's game, no matter who steps up in their place. They do have the next man up mentality, and that's what we're going to see here tonight.
Yeah, 100%. If as Chiefs fans, we weren't making an excuse for the Cowboys when they were without their wide receiver. We weren't making excuses for the Packers when they were without Aaron Rodgers. You next man up. So for Kansas City, it's got to be a next man up mentality. The one thing you could say is this could be some fresh legs at D tackle, right? Filling in for Chris Jones in this early Thursday game. You don't have until Sunday. So maybe getting some fresh legs could be a positive to an extent. Not going to be the same guy as Chris Jones. I'm not saying that. But having fresh legs can't help when you're coming off of a short week. I will say Eckler is questionable. If he can't go, that would be huge for Kansas City. Willie Gay Jr. was going to be tasked with trying to stop him out of the backfield. Expect to see a lot more Dan Sorensen in this game with L'Jarius Sneed out last week. Daniel Sorensen played about 90% of snaps. Expect to see the same this week. Maybe see an uptick in Fenton. Again, uptick in Mike Hughes. But that is something to keep an eye on. Who is going to be playing safety? Who's going to be out there in the secondary? Who is going to be able to stop Mike Williams going deep?
It's going to have to be Travarius Ward, more than likely. Again, because they run with 5 defensive backs, obviously there'll be some help on the opposite side. But Mike Hughes might be able to do it. He's wearing number 21. We saw what it looked like post game. He got the diamonds. He's got the swagger. This again, when you have that next man up mentality, Sterling, this is the opportunity, and this is going to be on the national stage. This is the time where you want the spotlight on you. Again, Fox, NFL Network, Thursday Night Football. The world is the country. The world is going to be watching to see whether or not the Chiefs can overtake the Los Angeles Chargers this season, not get swept by them again. This is a big game for Kansas City, Sterling. If they lose this game, they get swept by the Chargers. And if you're swept by the Chargers, now the Chargers effectively have a 2-game lead over you. I think they might be tied if the Chiefs lose, and the Chiefs could possibly, I guess, still win out, and the Chargers lose a game. But you don't want to even have to go in that scenario. You just want to come here, take care of business again. Andy Reid and his coaching staff, they always do a good job getting the players prepared, getting them focused, and getting them coached up for the game. And I expect nothing different in tonight's action.
Some takeaways from the first time these two teams faced off this year. Travarius Ward was not here. That's a huge boost for Kansas City. Travarius Ward has been the most unsung, underrated player, in my opinion, defensively for Kansas City. When he's out there, he moves all the other quarterbacks down one spot. Travarius Ward seems to always be that guy you can count on. I know he's not the flashy guy. He's not a guy who's going to get a ton of interceptions, but he continues to be the right guy in the right place at the right time. Also, a healthy Frank Clark. Like we mentioned, no Rashawn Slater. They're also down to their backup right tackle. Sure, the interior of their Chargers offensive line is pretty solid, but their tackles being hurt, being out. Melvin Ingram going against his former team, and Frank Clark, they need to have a big game, and they should feast.
Well, again, I expect Melvin Ingram, look, the way he's played, he always seems to start the game off hot, Sterling, and gets in the backfield. Obviously, he feels like he'll have something to prove to a Chargers team that probably gave up on him. Didn't feel like he could still play at a high level here. So I expect a lot from him tonight. I expect we'll probably hear his name called a lot tonight. But also, as you mentioned, Frank Clark. Frank Clark is back healthy. He's been playing well. I think, again, the addition of Melvin Ingram to this team has sparked a new life in this Kansas City defense and has allowed them to play it's allowed them to get more pressure on the quarterback again. I don't know. I'm starting to get the feeling that Chris Jones is probably going to have one of those last minute additions or entrances to the ball game. I'm expecting good old JR to come and good God, Chris Jones, he's walking into the building. Music blaring. I don't know. That's just the feeling I'm getting. Again, haven't heard anything yet from the Chiefs PR. But again, when once we go to break, I'll try to get something from them. Hopefully they'll give me a little something to go with here on the air.
Since we already talked about Austin Eckler and Rashawn Slater, 3 other guys for the Chargers in their secondary that are questionable: Asante Samuel Jr., Derwin James, and Alohi Gilman. That's 3 other guys in their secondary that could be out. So it's not just Kansas City dealing with some injuries, with COVID, with some concerns. These Thursday night football games, a lot of it comes down to who is healthy, who's out here going to be available, and who can show up with those fresh legs. Again, I'm saying it. Someone on this defensive line who's not played a ton of snaps needs to step up. Is that going to be Derek Nottie? Is that Colin Saunders? Like, who do you think is going to be that guy on the interior who is going to step up, Darren?
I think it's going to be Alex Okafor. I'm not sure I don't know if Colin Saunders is actually back. I haven't seen him play, or at least I haven't paid attention to him. But perhaps Warden, as Brant's Phelps was talking about. But I think Alex Okafor. Again, you got to keep in mind, one of the things when you talked about the first game, that the Chiefs did not put pressure on this quarterback, on Justin Herbert. Now, he's a big guy. Don't get me wrong, he's a big guy, but they didn't put pressure on him. Another thing to look out for, Sterling, is how many times they're able to get after the quarterback, how many times they're able to sack him, or at least get hits on him. The other thing to be mindful of, the Chiefs lost that game 30-24. But remember, they had 4 turnovers. If the Chiefs do not put the ball on the ground, Patrick is not careless with the football and throwing the football, Chiefs shouldn't have any issues with winning this ball game tonight. Again, Kansas City was in the game and had a chance to win even in that final drive where they were, but again, Patrick threw the late game interception when he was intended for Travis. So he had 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But again, the Chiefs also had 2 costly fumbles in that ball game. So again, the biggest key in tonight's ball game, in this game against the Chargers, the difference between this game and the first game, pressure on the quarterback and playing a clean game where you do not turn the football over. And the Chiefs need to actually force turnovers to give the offense extra possessions to put the game away early.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Kansas City is going to be what teams try to do against them. Don't give it the big play. Justin Herbert is incredible when it comes to making big plays. If you watched him last week throw that 63-yard air yards strike to Guyton in the end zone, rolling to his left, it was incredible. I think only 2 other guys in the NFL, maybe 3, can make that throw. He is a weapon. So making sure you don't give it the big play, I think, will be huge for Kansas City. And on the flip side, it's weird saying it, Darren, especially coming from me, the Chiefs need to run the football semi-effectively.
Football. See, now I'm not gonna mess with you, Sterling. That was yesterday, but yes, I'm always a big proponent of running the football and utilize that clock. Now, I want them to run the ball just enough to make sure that they get 53 points. Now, combined, it's almost 50.
Yeah, I have the under, Darren. Just so you know, I'm still with the under. But no, I do think Kansas City, just even if we saw from the first game and what they've done on this current win streak, that is take care of the football. As long as you don't turn the ball over, this Chiefs team is explosive enough, even if they throw the ball only 25 to 30 times and not 40 plus, as long as they take care of the ball, they will win this football game. And I think it starts with the offensive line. It starts with Creed Humphrey. It starts with Joe Thuney. It starts with, Trey Smith, Orlando Brown Jr. They need to keep continuously getting that push up front. We saw Clyde last week have, I think, his best run as a Kansas City Chief. On the end zone, when he got stopped, showed the vision, the patience, bounced it back outside for the touchdown. If he shows that vision this game, I have no issue. I think Kansas City wins this game handily.
Well, I got to win the game anyway. I mean, I don't think that's not obvious if I'm betting that kind of money. Betting some big money on the Chiefs tonight. So yes,
What you betting, big spender?
I don't know. My mom's probably listening, so just
Darren's in church, actually, guys.
So I got money riding on this thing tonight. I'm going all in on Kansas City tonight. So, and I'm going all in. I'm taking the minus. I'm taking the points, and I'm going over 52. So I think, again, I know you think it could be under, but this team, the Chargers, they've been putting up points a lot, Stolen, and that's I think that as well as the defense has been playing, they're going to score their points. I think they are too strong offensively to not be able to get the ball into the end zone. Chiefs are as well. So, I mean, it's, I can't sit here and say that the Chiefs are going to keep this defense or keep this offense to only 9 points, because they haven't faced an explosive offense outside of Dallas, and they did a great job with Dallas, when that was at Arrow. But again, this is on their home turf. They've showed that they've been able to score 41 points. I think 2 of the last 4 ball games, 3 or 4 ball games. I know they did it against Pittsburgh. They did it against the Cincinnati Bengals. And of course, they put up, I think, 37 last week against the New York Giants. So it's hard for me to see where they're not scoring points, because because that's what they've been doing the last few weeks. So it's hard for me to just see Chiefs coming in and shutting them down. So I expect it to be high again. Last night, Thursday Night Football. I'm pretty sure the NFL. Roger Goodell will probably be here because it's the last game, but I expect this to be a high scoring affair.
Yeah, it's going to come down to which Chargers team shows up. 5 weeks ago in Minnesota, they put up 20 in a loss. Then they put up 41 against the Steelers. Then 13 in a loss against Denver. And then 41 and 37. The Chargers are a team that you have no idea what you're going to get. They're very inconsistent. At times, they look like they are maybe one of the best teams, maybe a team that could compete for a Super Bowl. And other times, they look like they could get beat by the Houston Texans. You have no idea what you're going to get with this Chargers team. That's what almost makes them dangerous because you don't know what to prepare for. You don't know if they're going to go and drop 10 balls off to Eckler. You don't know if Herbert's going to go deep to Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, or Guyton. They're an enigma. They're a young team, and when you have a young quarterback who still continuously sometimes makes mistakes, it can kind of keep you on your toes. You don't want to get too aggressive, and then all of a sudden he drops in a 63-yard bomb over your dome.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, but again, you got a team that's probably one of the top 3, top 5 teams in scoring. The Chiefs, again, the Chiefs still have to prove that they can put points up on the board against a team that's not the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, that's what they have to prove that they can do and do it consistently. Again, Patrick has played well in these last few games, but again, his best games have come against the Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles. So he needs to prove that that the defense that he's going to be facing, because again, the Raiders play a different defense than what he's been facing this season. So he needs to make sure that the show too, that that he's going to see tonight, that he's able to take what the defense gives him, not be afraid to audible out, go to a run if that's what he sees, to make sure that they keep the drives going. Again, the biggest key for Kansas City is going to be not turn the football over and being able to sustain drives. Patrick does not have to go for the home run shot. He doesn't have to go for the SportsCenter highlight just because he's in LA. You just want to keep the drive going and get points at the end of the day. I prefer touchdowns, but if a field goal is what you need to avoid turning the ball over, it is what it is. So we don't know just yet, because I know everybody's asking in the chat if Jones is out for sure. Again, when we go to commercial, I'm going to check with the Chiefs PR. We'll see what they say. They may not give me an update. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we're hoping on a Willis Reed type situation where we don't think is coming out. Obviously, we see Chris Jones, Willis Reed. Oh, he's coming out! Madison Square Garden. That'd be pretty cool. If Chris Jones pulls a Willis Reed, I'd be pretty stoked.
Yeah, again, I don't know if he tested negative yesterday and would have to test. Well, if he tested negative yesterday, he could test negative today and be able to go. But it's also a matter, the Chiefs flew out yesterday. He couldn't fly out with them. So if he tested negative yesterday, he might have taken a later flight. He could have flown out yesterday. He just had to fly out on his own dime, and he would be here. But he could also test today back in Kansas City, and then fly out this morning. Get a personal jet or something. Patrick's got connections that he shares with his players, but he had to share
just to me too. If people are wondering why, if he has already tested positive again today, for example, and they know that the Chiefs know he's not playing, the reason why they're keeping it close to the chest, it's a gamemanship. You want the Chargers to think that Chris Jones could be or could not be playing. I truly think they'll wait until the last possible minute to let everyone know if Chris Jones is in or out. I think the same thing with Austin Eckler. It's a little bit of gamemanship. I understand it.
Well, the big difference is that Jones has to be here by a certain time to suit up and go through the stuff. Austin Eckler, because he's already on the team and he just had an ankle injury. I mean, that's more of an inact. I mean, that's more. His is more of a game time decision versus Chris Jones. I mean, Chris, they do have to notify by Chris Jones because of the COVID stuff. So, but if he, if he's able to go, he'll go. I mean, and I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he is. I hope he is. Trust me, for my financial sake, I hope he's playing. But look,
no, for the over's sake, you hope he's out.
I mean, again, they're gonna put points up on the board regardless. The Chiefs, again, for me, the Chiefs, they just have to not turn the football over. If the Chiefs play a clean ball game, they'll win the game again. They had 4 turnovers when they faced them back in September and still almost won the football game. So that lets you know just how good they were, and even to an extent, you got to remember how good this defense actually played back then in that game, because even in that game, the defense had the Chargers go 3 and out the first 2 series. It was the Chiefs that couldn't take advantage of it at the time.
Adrian on Facebook got a question. What part of the Chargers team is their weak link? I would say it's their offensive line and especially their tackles. Again, Rashawn Slater, he is out. Pipkin will be filling in at left tackle. They also have a fill-in at right tackle. So Frank Clark, Melvin Ingram, whoever's going to be out there on the edge needs to take advantage. I expect a huge game from Frank Clark. Just looking at his burst from last week, that was the quickest I have seen Frank Clark get off the line his entire time in Kansas City. Even though I know he had that one offsides, that was still a bang play. Slowing it down, it looked like he was eerily close to timing that about as perfect as you can. I'm very excited to see Frank Clark, what he can do against the backup tackle in this game.
Well, not only him, but you got to remember, depending on, I don't think it's a rookie that's playing, but Melvin Ingram, he is very familiar with this team. So I think you could see a situation where he might be playing or lined up against them as well. Again, I think he's starting.
And he actually knows him from the Chargers. I read that he actually was on the team together when he was in Chargers organization.
Well, I would hope so, but just last year. So I mean, it was just like, no, I'm saying as long as he wasn't a rookie, yeah. So, but look, man, I want people to just understand. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. I know we're worried about Chris Jones. Look, I'm worried about him. But at the end of the day, if Patrick Mahomes wasn't playing, then you'd have cause for concern. I'm not taking that away from Chris Jones. I mean, he is that guy. But as long as the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, you should be okay. Again, because if Patrick Mahomes throws six interceptions, it ain't gonna matter if Chris Jones was in the game or not. Patrick Mahomes is your starting quarterback. He's playing. He tested negative today. He's good. We got this, Chiefs fans. We got this. Seriously.
Kendall on Facebook Live. Chargers are near the bottom in the run defense. Yes, they are. Chargers ranked 31st
hold on.
against
what does
the
that
run.
mean for Andy Reid? What does that now? They ran for
It should mean.
They run. Well, hold on. For Eric Bieniemy, it means something. He used to play for this team, and they rushed for 186 yards. But they still made sure Patrick was throwing that football now. So, yeah, I think the run defense is a good point. Brant Phillips, asked if Gay's a bigger missing piece. I think so, but I think it's more so if you got a tight end out there, or if Austin Eckler is playing, and of course he's in. They use him as a pass catcher. So Jones here playing. We know anything. Or what? Okay, they don't know nothing yet either. So people asking, I just asked them. They don't know anything just yet, or they're not telling me. So that's an update on Chris Jones.
It's going to be a what? Game's at 7:20 Central. We'll find out at what is that? 5:50, hour and a half before game time.
No,
5:50.
That's your time. It is 3:50 my time.
That's too early, man.
It's 1:27.
That's early
locally. So
yeah, West Coast time. It sucks, man. That's the worst. West Coast is brutal.
Yeah.
Central time. We know what it's at. Also, by the way, you missed some 70-mile-per-hour winds yesterday. You missed the gusts. I have tree limbs strewn all about. Hopefully what Frank Clark's doing to the offensive line, just going like crazy. That's what was going to my lawn last night. It's horrible.
Well, I can't speak for that. I was here enjoying the good weather here. So
you're here in the balmy LA, huh?
Oh,
enjoying that nice weather.
Hey, you see, I came dressed to impress tonight. Fox, NFL, ESPN. I got people to talk to after the show, so got to hurry this thing up.
Well, Darren, what I want to do is take a break and come back, and I want to talk to you about Urban Meyer getting canned after only 13 games in Jacksonville. Yeah, I know. You were big on the Urban Meyer train. We'll talk all that and more Chiefs right here on Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
Everyone knows Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. Did you know it's also time to save hundreds, even thousands on patio furniture, pool tables, shuffleboard, and more? You can beef up your entertainment area with couches, sectionals, and theater seating now on sale at Family Leisure. Make it a September to remember with special 810 listener pricing at Family Leisure. Spas, basketball goals, play sets, trampolines, everything for family and fun together on sale at Family Leisure. Payton and Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome. Work hard and play hard with Easy Sport, Boulevard's refreshing rally ale. Infused with tangerine peel and sea salt, Easy Sport hits the shelves at only 99 calories and 4.5 carbs. This subtly salty, slightly tart beer packs a punch of flavor. Whether you just finished a run, a pickup game, or mowing the lawn, Easy Sport is a refreshing, guilt-free way to celebrate the everyday. Grab an Easy Sport, Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate.
I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A KC tradition since 1957 and voted the best steak in Kansas City, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservations. Follow Hereford House on Facebook and Instagram for exclusive specials. Hereford House, voted Kansas City's favorite steakhouse.
Join Union Broadcasting in thanking local companies that care. Union Broadcasting salutes CBD American Shaman for their support of the Derek Thomas and Neil Smith Third and Long Foundation, sacking illiteracy among urban youth. Through social, cultural, and educational activities, the Third and Long Foundation helps participating children in school and beyond. You can also help by donating at thirdandlong.org. Thank you, CBD American Shaman, for being a company that cares.
Hi, Ollie Gates here. The Gates family would like to say thank you for allowing us to serve you for 75 years, a milestone which would not have been possible without your support. Thanks again, and remember, whatever the case may be, keep the faith.
Raised in the middle of the land full of barbecue stands and the brothers throw hands. Everybody getting grand. Kansas City where the pretty women make it say damn.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling here, ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, and Facebook Live. Darren, before we get into Urban Meyer and the disaster that was his 13 games in Jacksonville, per Charles Robinson, for the remainder of the season, if you have tested positive, but you are vaccinated and asymptomatic, lower threshold for your return. That threshold, you can immediately start retesting after your first positive and only need one negative instead of two to return to the team. So what that means is get Chris Jones a cotton swab and a private jet ASAP.
Yeah, if that's the case. What I've gotten, the NFL statement says, and I'm going to say this, throughout the pandemic, we have continuously evolved our protocols to meet our goal of advancing the safety of the players, coaches, and staff. The changes we are making today aim to address the increase in cases and the advent of the Omicron variant. Effective immediately, all clubs will implement preventive measures that have proven effective: masking regardless of vaccination status, remote or outdoor meetings, eliminating in-person meals, and no outdoor visitors while on team travel. We will continue to strongly encourage booster shots as the most effective protection. Finally, and based on expert advice, we will adjust the return to participation requirements for those who have recovered from COVID-19. All of these changes are grounded in our data and science-backed approach, with safety our number one goal for the entire NFL community, end quote.
Again, Chris Jones now technically only needs one negative COVID test, not 2 days in a row, only one. If he could test negative today, and if he tested positive yesterday, that would mean, again, get that dude a private jet to LA ASAP. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we'll see, man. I don't know. I mean, it could be too late timing of it, but I'm not, I'm not holding my breath. If he's going to play, he's going to play. If not, Chiefs still need to go out and do their job and win this game regardless, because there's a lot at stake. Asking Tyron earlier this week at the presser about it, he knows the importance, and the team knows the importance and the magnitude of today's ball game. So I expect them to, to be all in on tonight's game again. I don't want to harp on Chris Jones, throughout the show and even on my pregame show later. Chiefs got to do what they got to do regardless. They're gonna have to win this game whether he's playing in it or not. So that being said, it is what it is. But going back to Urban Meyer, I think obviously when you look at his firing, I think Shan Khan was really trying to find additional just cause reason to fire him so he wouldn't have to pay out his contract. And I think now, unless he did not know about the incident with the kicker months ago when it took place, and he's just finding out about it yesterday, or they just got that information to him yesterday when he saw it in the Tampa Bay newspaper, that's a dereliction of duty on the rest of the staff, i.e. the council, the general manager, and next person, and the person even above the head coach that should have notified him about this situation. So, look, I was wrong. I thought he would be a good NFL coach because I thought that, like Jimmy Johnson, the success that he had at the college level, I thought that would transfer. It did transfer for Jimmy Johnson. Obviously, a lot of coaches in their first season don't succeed, but they do get better as time progresses. So I was wrong about that, and I can admit when I was wrong.
So I'm not going to take a victory lap when I said
no, you should.
He wasn't going to make it one full season.
Well, first of all, you already did on
Twitter.
Wait,
yeah, I am, Darren. I'm totally doing this.
Twitter, so I mean, you ain't fooling nobody, Sterling. Everybody knows that's just the build.
No, you can see this coming a mile away.
Exactly.
A dude who like all of a sudden just because to me, he is one of the most phony guys in the business. Urban Meyer, you can see this coming a mile away. When every other team gets to pay their players as well, you knew he couldn't get it done. I mean, Urban Meyer does not seem like the guy who's going to stand up and do the right thing. He's always trying to bend the rules. Hell, he tried bending the COVID rules. He was getting in trouble the entire season long. It was just a litany of things that went wrong, and to me, they were almost all predictable coming from Urban Meyer. Not only do I find this incredibly funny, I also love Shad Khan 2 days ago saying we're not going to make any hasty decisions on Urban Meyer's future. 2 days later, you're canned. Well, get him out of here. I love that.
Hasty is in the eye of the beholder or the one signing the paychecks. That's how you got to look at it.
I just find it all funny. Good for Josh Lambo for speaking up. First off, how the hell do you kick a player? And not only that, you kick a kicker in the leg, the thing that you need him to do. Like, yeah, that's a good idea, Urban. And tell him to make his kicks. Congratulations, Einstein. I'm sure no one else has thought of that.
Well, you notice who he kicked. He kicked the kicker. He didn't kick me. He didn't kick somebody
in the leg.
I'm saying, but he didn't kick somebody that's about that life, though, Sean. That's the big difference. I mean, he felt like he could kick it. But again, what they say about the kicker for not standing up for himself. Now, I understand he went to HR, he went to council. Perhaps he was trying to get a little bit more money. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how I would have reacted in the time. I think I probably would have been shocked at first. And then I think, part of me would have been shocked. A part of me would have been like, man, I might be able to get some money at this organization because of what this dude just did. And the black side of me would have been like, man, I'm finna whoop off on this dude, and whatever happens, happens. So I don't know. I'd have been wrestling with all three of those factors before I'd have come up with a decision. But at the end of the day, I probably would have done what he did. But see, his only I'm wondering, because this happened back in preseason, I believe. So this happened back in August. And I'm wondering why why he didn't go to the press then, and I don't know if it was because he was still on the team, or whether or not he thought that if he went there, that it'd be some retaliation. But the fact that he went to council and nothing had been done about it, I think Urban Meyer was kind of shooting himself in the foot with the stuff going on back in Columbus after the Cincinnati loss, and then some of the stuff that's been going on recently. I think he felt that nothing was going to happen. And especially when Shad Khan said something that they were going to they were going to wait till after the season to probably reevaluate. So I think he wanted to go make sure that his story was heard. And, by coming out the way that it did, and you got to remember, the guy that printed the story was the same guy that had the Antonio Brown vaccination story. And we saw what happened with that. So the fact that he put this out there, there had to be a lot of truth to it. So.
Yeah, grinding Urban Meyer is out. I think the biggest loser right now has got to be his wife. That means his wife has to spend more time with him. That seems like a lose situation for her.
Well,
I mean,
I'm gonna be honest,
this whole situation's funny.
Oh, it's not really funny, but it's funny if you don't like Urban Meyer. But in his case, I'm just not. I'm okay. Looking at a new TV show that's starring a dude from Power 2. Isn't that something? Another 50 Cent deal. But anyway, this is a situation with Urban Meyer that he had it coming. I mean, he was in over his head. And look, and somebody brought up a good point. What if he knew he wasn't ready to, or he knew he wasn't qualified to be a head coach, but took the money anyway? And then once he took the money, he was trying to figure out an exit strategy.
I've heard worse ideas. The only problem was, I think his exit strategy would try to be to get another head coaching job in college. That seems like a few years away now at best. Because just to me, if all this stuff was happening in the NFL, how the hell do you think he was treating his players in college? That, to me, has got to be a very interesting situation. These are grown men he's doing. If you're kicking a guy who's a grown man who's getting paid millions of dollars, how is he treating the guy on his team who's not getting paid back? Then they didn't have NIL, any of that stuff. Just to me, that probably brings up a lot more questions about his character.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that, and that is a good question, because it does make you wonder how he treated players and coaches. But then again, the silence, and here's the other thing: you don't hear anybody defending Urban Meyer right now. They didn't defend him with the stuff that took place in Columbus, and they haven't defended him since all the stuff came out. Like even the whole deal about him disparaging the coaches about, what's your resume? Where have you won it? I'm like, well, dude, you hired him, so I mean, you should know the answer to that question.
Like you hired these guys. This is your coaching staff. This is what you put together, and then you're gonna blame he has no one to blame but himself.
So look, before we go further, I do want people who are watching online, watching Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, put your prediction in the comment box. Definitely would love to know who you think is going to win tonight and by how many. That could help if I decide to place some more bets in tonight's game. So give me an average of what you all think tonight's game is going to be, what type of score we're looking at, and let us know what you think. Obviously, we're here live. Well, at least I'm here live inside of SoFi Stadium in the press box as we bring you Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM and 1510.com. Sterling, again, obviously there are other news going on in the world of sports. Urban Meyer, of course, is the latest one to get fired in the middle of the night. I wonder what type of phone conversation or what that was. Like, Urban, could you please come in, bring your key card? I don't know how he got fired, but I am kind of curious as to the manner in which it took place.
Yeah, the whole Happy Gilmore meet me on the 9th green at 9, just get him hit with sprinklers. Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, we all saw this coming. Once the kicker stuff came out, it was going to be hard-pressed for him to keep his job. He's playing guys like Carlos Hyde, who, quite frankly, their NFL careers on the downslide, while you have a young back in James Robinson, and you're going to give Carlos Hyde all the touches. Your rookie quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, says, hey, we need more James Robinson out there. You get him 6 carries the next game, 6 touches overall. this was something that I think we all knew was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. The one thing I will say is, how bad is this for Trevor Lawrence? Now he's getting put in the same boat as the Daniel Joneses, the early Baker Mayfields, where you're going through coaching and just turnover like crazy. That's not good. That's a new system you got to learn probably every single year. It's what I think helped Patrick, helped guys like Justin Herbert to an extent. What he's got going on now seems to be a consistent head coaching staff on the same page. When you have all this turnover and inconsistency, that is not good. I don't care if you were the number 1 overall draft pick or not. That's tough.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's tough, but I mean, stranger things have happened in this world. But but this is going to be key. Key is going to be who his next coach is going to be and whether or not there's a vast improvement in his game next season. So if it is, then we know it was Urban Meyer. If not, perhaps it can be Trevor Lawrence. Looking at some of these scores, we've got John Coonan, 38-24 Chiefs. I like that. Ed Flores has Chiefs 34, Los Angeles 30. That's the over. I like that. Kendall, no, you're not getting a cut. So don't even think about it, because if I lose, you ain't putting in on it.
Kendall, I like it. Darren, you got to give him a cut. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Well, look, if we hit, then look, let's hit first. Then we worry about that. Justin Riley, 27-17. I like the win, but
I like that one, Justin.
Not enough. Shut up,
Justin. I like that one.
Being scored. Let's see, John Kuhn. As long as we have Dirty Dan, we win. You know what? I would say something, but we are on over the air radio, so I'm not going to go there. But if he plays well, keeps him. If he covers the spread like he did a couple weeks ago for your boy, I'll say that. 28-24 Chiefs. The defense will get a pick six. I like that. It's 52 points.
That's the under.
No, 52.
That's the under. It's 52 and a half, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it probably is now. I'm saying initially when I got in, it was 52. So that's what I need. Kendall Gibson. See, now you're trying to be funny. I don't like you no more. So 38-13.
Kendall, I like it, baby. That's the under and a Chiefs win. That's all we need.
And Chris Jones is officially out, according to ESPN and Justin Riley. Thank you for that. So, again, doesn't matter. So maybe now it is going to be over, Sterling. So with that being said, so let's take a brief timeout, come back, get final thoughts on today's game and some NBA action as well. You are listening to Darren and Sterling live from SoFi Stadium, which is so fine here on ESPN Kansas City.
Everyone knows Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa sale. Did you know it's also time to save hundreds, even thousands on patio furniture, pool tables, shuffleboard, and more? You can beef up your entertainment area with couches, sectionals, and theater seating now on sale at Family Leisure. Make it a September to remember with special 810 listener pricing at Family Leisure. Spas, basketball goals, play sets, trampolines, everything for family and fun together on sale at Family Leisure. K10 in Ridgeview in Olathe.
913-888-7727. Awesome.
Hey, Chiefs fans, this is Patrick Mahomes. Leave the touchdowns to me this season, but make sure you don't miss a minute of the excitement at Arrowhead. Tickets for Less will help you pick your favorite seat to see me in action at every home game, and then deliver the tickets straight to your phone for easy access. Don't get stuck paying a bunch of service fees on other sites. Let my friends over at Tickets for Less hook you up with the best seats and the best prices. Score your Chiefs tickets now at ticketsforless.com.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Space Camper Cosmic IPA is a juicy hot blast of flavor. Citrusy and balanced, this is an IPA with a mission: to save the Earth, because it's the only planet with beer. You might not know it, but Boulevard Brewing Company has been passionate about taking care of our planet for decades. Between their zero-waste brewery to Ripple Glass, Boulevard has been making great beer you can feel great about. Stock up on Space Camper Cosmic IPA today. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
A KC tradition since 1957 and voted the best steak in Kansas City, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. Go to HerefordHouse.com for hours, new menu items, and to make your reservations. Follow Hereford House on Facebook and Instagram for exclusive specials. Hereford House, voted Kansas City's favorite steakhouse.
Unwrap this one, sweetie.
Tear into it, pumpkin.
Okay. It's another sourdough kit?
But this one has rosemary.
Mom, Dad, you're just giving me the weird stuff you bought online last year.
Oh, well, we... Run, Larry!
This is your house!
Give Perfect Gift instant tickets from the Kansas Lottery, and they could win up to $75,000 instantly, which is a better kind of bread. See kslottery.com for details.
Stomp your feet and clap your hands with me. It's a celebration. Yeah, stomp, stomp, clap, clap, stomp, stomp, clap. You got it. Take 9. Let's go. KC
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling here at ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, and Facebook Live. Darren might be in LA, but out here we're still in KC. Gotta bring home the dub.
Hey,
some
hold on,
news.
hold on. I gotta stop you right quick. I just had a geek out moment, okay? And my brother's gonna be real upset, but as soon as we get through with this, I really gotta hurry. My man Troy Aikman is sitting over here in the little dining area eating, and they got some good food. I'm gonna post some pictures. They got some good food up here. So your boy's finna do his thing up here, but Troy Aikman's up here. I gotta get my picture. He asked, could he get a picture with your boy because he, like a little blue, little blue hat on. So yeah, Troy Aikman, nice guy. That's all I'm gonna say. Nice guy's my guy.
You know this hurts me, right?
And I'm not going to ask him about the whole 33%. You remember?
You're gonna bring that one up, yeah. Hey, so I hear now Patrick has 33% of your rings. What do you got to say, Troy?
I ain't gonna do him like that. So,
hey, are you more excited for Troy Aikman? Or are you more excited for the food? That's a toss up right there.
Well, considering the stuff that they feed us at Arrowhead, I'm actually more excited about the food. Because I hadn't eaten yet. So seriously, I worked out this morning, and man, I mean, again, the time zone is kicking my butt. So I worked out this morning, and as soon as I worked out, got upstairs, showered, and got dressed and head over to the stadium. But no, the food is spectacular that they went all out for Kansas City. I mean, and they get now Steve's going like they got a whole bunch of candy over here. I'm talking about like Reese's and Kit Kats and Sour Patch. I mean, they got stuff that is, he'll go crazy about it. Me, it'll make me go crazy. So I'm not messing with it.
So Austin Eckler update per Tom Pellisario. He is expected to play tonight. Not going to be his full workload, but Eckler expected to play. Expect some extra carries for Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson, as well as Larry Roundtree. Charvarius Ward listed as questionable with a illness. I don't know what that means. I assume it's not COVID or else he'd be listed as out. So Charvarius Ward listed with a illness is questionable. This would be a huge loss for Kansas City if Charvarius Ward cannot go as well. That puts a lot of pressure on Fenton, obviously DeAndre Baker, Mike Hughes to try and get something done. Let's hope Charvarius Ward can fight through and play this game.
Well, look, man, I'm not worried about Ward will play in tonight's game. It's going to be a matter of how effective will he be. Look, hate to sound like this, hate to be like Jim Ross of the WWE. The AFC West Division titles is on stake in tonight's game, okay? I'm not trying to undersell it, not trying to oversell it. It is what it is. If the Chiefs lose, Chargers have the inside track, obviously, because they would have swept Kansas City. They'll probably more than likely win the division. Chiefs will have one remaining division game left. That'll be against the Denver Broncos to end the season. Kansas City needs to win this game. That's what's at stake. at stake in tonight's game is not only a stranglehold on the division crown, but also you still put yourself in position to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. They win, if New England somehow falters against the Colts this weekend, the Chiefs will move up to number 2. If the Tennessee Titans fall to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is what Chiefs fans should be hoping for, Chiefs have an outside chance come Sunday evening to be the number 1 team in the AFC, and then all roads, if Kansas City can continue to win out, will go through Kansas City for the 4th year in a row. So that's what's at stake in tonight's game. So whether Chris Jones is playing, whether Travarius Ward is doubtful, does not matter. You have Patrick Mahomes. At the end of the day, number 15 is your quarterback. He needs to keep the ball from the other defenders. He needs to make sure that he's accurate. He needs to make sure that, and the receivers need to make sure they do their job. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce have to catch the football. Now, Patrick needs to put in position where only they can catch it, but he needs to be accurate. The receivers, they need to catch the football with their hands and not their body, and keep the drives going. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, again, he had a fumble the last time these two teams played. He needs to make sure that he keeps the ball from touching the ground. Chiefs do that. If the Chiefs play a clean ball game as they've been doing the last few outings, they will win this game hands down. I got the Chiefs winning 35-30.
I have Kansas City winning 27-23. So for those of you keeping the score at home, that is the Chiefs covering the 3-point spread and the under. Darren,
I will beat your ass when I get home if that happens, Sterling. I will be on you like white on rice, Sterling.
Darren, thank you so much. Have fun out there at SoFi. Bring them a win. Get your good dinner / lunch, brunch, whatever it is. Tell Troy hi.
It's only 2:00.
Tell him 33% and go Kansas City. For Darren, this is Sterling. We'll be back live tomorrow from 3 to 4 p.m. We're out of here.